Everybody, today's video we're going to be working on the back of the car, and one of the things I did when I built this about a year ago was I installed the rear uprights incorrectly. The left went to the right, right went to the left, and it turned out I had a little bit of a toe out this whole time. I didn't notice it until somebody pointed it out to me. So we're going to correct that. We're going to change out the bearings in the hub and reassemble everything. Then we'll see if there's any loose, any sloppiness anywhere, and we're going to shim those as usual. We'll see how far we can get today. So first, I'm going to take off the shocks. They just come off pretty easily. It's just a bulk up. So I'm just going to pry those off and put them aside. We're going to be rebuilding those in a future episode. Okay, there is a screw pin here. I'm going to take that off. Using my left hand here. Alright, that comes right off. Let's do the other side. Okay. So I'm going to be swapping these, so this will go back on this side and this will go over here. And I have the manual in front of me just in case I need any reference later on when I'm putting this back together. But first I'm going to pop these wheel nuts off and change out the bearings. Let's see. In a future episode, I'm going to be changing these out to a 6mm clamp-on hex instead, but I'm going to do all four together, so I want to make that into one video. And anywhere along the way, if I find any dirty parts, I'm going to go ahead and dunk it in the nitro cleaner, get them all cleaned up. Okay, there's two bearings on this side. There's one right here. And I'm just going to use a screwdriver to punch out that second bearing. There we go. Let me do the other wheel and then I'll figure out which ones I'm going to dunk. All right, here we go. I'm going to be changing out these wheel hexes as well. These the hex nuts. This isn't the dirtiest that I've ever seen, but it definitely needs a little bit of maintenance. Push out the front one, then I'll push out the one in the rear. All right, okay. So these parts are all pretty dirty. So I think what I'm gonna do is dunk everything, maybe 20 minutes, and clean them all up, and then I'll come back. Stay tuned. All right, I have all the parts cleaned off now. I soaked these for about 20 minutes. I took them out of the basket, the nitro cleaner, and just wiped them off with a clean paper towel. I brought out some new bearings, and these bearings are DSM off-road, and for the wheel hubs they're actually 5x10 by 4mm, and you will need 8 of them for the front and the rear. And come to think of it, when I put this back together, I don't want to put the old wheel hubs back, the wheel hexes back on. I'm going to go ahead and open this and install these instead. And to put these on, I will need a 1.5mm hex wrench, and I got that right here. So we'll be doing that as well. But first, let's put this back together. So the bearings front and back of the carrier here. Easy enough. All right, and you can see there's a rubber O-ring in there, that brown O-ring. I looked through those, I took them out and examined them, and they look like they're in decent shape still. I don't have too much mileage on this TT-02. Really primarily just use it to bash around a little bit. So with the pin in there, oops, let me just set that aside. And then open up the knuckles. Hex nuts. Let's see. I wish everybody used zip top bags. Just less staples and less things for me to cut myself with. Alright. It does come with pins as well. And it does come with 1.5 millimeter hex wrench if you don't have one. Alright, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use one of the new pins as well. Let me put these in back. So, do is thread that in there and not drop it. Put the hex on. And get one of these tiny, tiny hex screws. And I'll probably be losing one before the video's over. And go ahead and tighten that. I'm not feeling any pressure. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, there you go. That's it. That's not going anywhere. This is a great fit. I think this is a great addition. These wheel hexes, and the part number is 53569. Clamp type aluminum wheel hub, 6 millimeter thick. I talked about this in the first video. I'm choosing 6 millimeter just to give a little bit more like a wider stance to the car. And I noticed there's going to be quite a bit of movement here. I'll probably end up putting a shim behind there before this is over, but let me go ahead and do both. Oh, they gave you 5 pins. How nice. They assume you're going to lose one. Alrighty. Alright, there we go. So, as I was, when I had the uprights off, I noticed on the, this is the rear of the car, that the rear lower arms had quite a bit of slop here, and that's something that needs to be addressed. So we'll be doing that in a future video. Right now, I think I'm going to end the video here, and in the next video I will kind of address the slop in all over the car, and kind of do it all together and talk about each of the areas where I think taking out the slop would be important. All right, you notice especially the rear, I mean the lower arms, has a lot of play. So hope you enjoyed this video. Essentially, we rebuilt the rear uprights. We took them off, and we're going to address the arms in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button. If you have a comment, please leave it below. And as always, see you in the next one.